cancel out of recovery frames for certain moves. It's a really useful tool for approach, maintaining proper spacing, and improperly comboing. And Mr. Hart doesn't have one. Because of his size, the developers didn't give him a boost meter and locked him out of a universal mechanic. There's a world of difference between not being able to use boost effectively and not having the option at all. Mr. Hart's normals are really disappointing, with them either being stubby and fast or far-reaching and slow, meaning that in the mid-range, Mr. Hart has no options. Some of his buttons are legendarily bad, with 2D being perhaps one of the worst moves in any fighting game. 35 frames of startup and 34 frames of recovery for a big 4 active frames.
For one game
His
on my
jab
own
has
before.
the exact same amount of active frames.
I
with
forgot
only 5
I deleted
startup
everything.
And 4 recovery frames. There is a 30 frame difference between his jab and his 2D. Hart also has the distinction of being so big, he has 2 spots on the tier list. One for if you're player 1, and the other for player 2. Player 2 Mr. Hart is a better character than player 1 Mr. Hart. Because, for some goddamn reason, player 2 Hart gets additional hits
I wanted to clean up my stuff.
that you don't get if you're player 1. Meaning that you have access to combos that just don't work for player 1. It's optimal play to let your big brother take the first player controller and use the Mad Catz one if you're playing Mr. Hart. With all of that, though, once you get past what makes Hart so bad,
whoops, it's a mirror
he does
match.
actually have some special spice that makes him more viable than you realize. For instance, Hart has an extremely odd mechanic where by holding the button down during jumping C, Hart will actually store the move's hit of super armor, letting him take it with him to protect himself. This gives him a unique pseudo-resource system that gives Hart a lot more to do. Keeping the super armor makes his approach safer and lets him use unsafe moves, safe in the knowledge that the super armor will eat any counterattacks. Do I think this was intentional? Probably not, but he's not complaining. Some of Hart's moves are even good on purpose, like his grabs all being really strong, as well as having a vacuum move that drags the opponent into range for those throws to be the most effective. Earth Crush is a really good move with versatility and range, and he has access to a unique special install that, at the cost of being unable to block and having to move constantly, gives you his best moves. This includes an even stronger command grab and his Typhoon, which by far is his best move. And when losing out on that boost bar, the devs were kind enough to throw out his other bar too, as Hart's guard can't be broken. In HNK, there is an extremely odd system where characters are placed on a tier list where lower tier characters will be forced to have a guard gauge that can be broken, therefore breaking their guard. And since Hart is at the top of this tier list, he never has to have a guard meter unless he's fighting either Shin or another Mr. Hart. Every other character, though, will have a guard meter because they're fighting Mr. Hart, who's on a higher level of the tier list. Hart's potential is so high, in fact, that he's seen as a counterpick against top-tier Ray, due to his anti-air grab being incredibly strong, and Ray spending more time in the air than he does on the ground. Even though he's an Arc System Works grappler, the worst thing you can be, and struggles against almost every character in the game, Hart does at least have a lot of interesting stuff he can do. He's in contention for the worst character, and most players would probably say he's worse, but I really can't overlook everything else wrong with the second lowest rated character in the game, Jaggy. Jaggy is the worst. He's a bastard, terrible at martial arts, has the worst guidance side story. Jaggy sucks. I like Jaggy, but Jaggy sucks, and that carries over to HNK. Jaggy fills the role of Trap Master, specifically the sub-archetype of worse Trap Master than Yuda. His game plan is to hamper the opponent with hazards left all over the stage that make the approach difficult, in the form of his gasoline attacks. Barrels and puddles can be left around the stage for Jaggy to ignite with either a match or his shotgun blast. Not only does igniting them do good damage, but the puddle actually slows down opponents who move through it. That means a smart Jaggy player will be leaving them all around the stage, so if he gets comboed, the opponent moving through them might be too slow and drop the combo, allowing him to counterattack. This would work, except his traps are bad and don't work. Ray can easily fly over any traps Jaggy leaves for him on the ground, and Toki can teleport right through them. The game's best characters easily ignore the gasoline, and everyone else can too, since despite these traps implying Jaggy would be great at anti-air to punish people who jump over them, he isn't. He only has one decent anti-air, which is pretty good, especially if the opponent is doused in gasoline, but that one attack isn't enough to properly stop people from ignoring his gimmick. If Jaggy is forced to ignore his gimmick and focus on his buttons, well, that's not good because Jaggy's buttons aren't good. Jaggy's combo game is incredibly poor, and his damage shockingly low. Pair that with moves that just aren't as fast as the rest of the cast, and it leaves you wondering what range he is supposed to be good at. Jaggy's biggest issue, though, is that a lot of his kit is based around gimmicks. He can't just do something, he has to do it in a really dumb way. Jaggy's specials and supers are situational, sometimes matchup specific, and barely any of them are useful even in their best scenarios. The match you use to ignite gasoline is completely useless on its own, but is still needed because you can only ignite gas puddles using it. He has a fake surrender move that allows him to back up and spit out unblockable needles that break an opponent's star on hit, but that backup makes the move super telegraphed and easy to play around. Jaggy's taunt lets him drop his shotgun, which locks him out of any shotgun-based moves, including that good anti-air, fireball, and his far C. This has no practical application, and that's including how there's a special tied to it. If you get knocked down near your gun, you can fire it off for a guaranteed star break, and even rapid fire it to break up to 3 stars at once. Not only is gimping yourself for the chance to break 3 stars at the cost of all your meter terrible, most combos in HNK don't let you touch the ground. They'll dribble you, sure, but that's not the same thing. One of Jaggy's super moves is a command grab, which drains the opponent's boost and guard gauge, as well as breaking a star if it lands. But you can only use it on Shin because it references the moment where Jaggy convinces Shin to steal Kenshiro's girlfriend. As a Fist of the North Star fan, it's a really cute piece of fan service. As a fan of winning the game, it's completely worthless. One of his super moves is a quiz show where he asks you what his name is, just like in the show, which deals great damage if the opponent fails to pick the right one. But if they pick correctly, they deal no damage. A funny property of this move is that it can be extended out to a second question to deal extra damage at the cost of more super meter. But if the first hit would have killed, then you extend, then they guess right, the opponent actually gets back a magic pixel of health to keep fighting. Jaggy is so bad he has the potential to revive the opponent at no benefit to himself. You want to know how bad Jaggy's life sucks? He isn't even allowed to block in peace. His low block has him pull out a statue to guard himself. The statue isn't like better at guarding or anything, it's just cosmetic. If you block low for too long, though, the statue will break, which means Jaggy is disabled from blocking low for a few seconds. Why? Other characters have to have a guard meter thrust upon them, but Jaggy has it built in by default. I am, though, ignoring that Jaggy does have some pretty good moves to his name. His jumping A is a really good move, his gasoline super is extremely useful, and his other special, Hokuto Ragangeki, is one of the best supers in the game. No joke. Barely any startup, safe on hit, block, and whiff thanks to the needles you can shoot out, and sets up for Jaggy's infinites. Jaggy is also an exceptional star breaker. Lots of his moves, both good and bad, have great star breaking potential, which means he's able to steal wins he shouldn't by going for his fatal KO. For those who don't know how the mechanic works, in Hokuto no Ken, there are 7 stars of death underneath your health bar, and certain moves have the property to remove stars. If you lose all of your stars, you'll be susceptible to a fatal KO, which will automatically lose you the round. Hokuto no Ken's metagame is built around these fatal KOs. They're extremely important and constantly gone for whenever the opportunity presents itself. And of course, Toki has the best one, and Jackie is the proud owner of the worst fatal KO in the game. See, the move has 3 hitboxes: the initial hitbox, the match, and the ignited gas. Only the ignited gas will trigger the fatal KO. So if you were knocked away during the first part of the attack, it'll whiff. That knockaway can be triggered by the initial hit, meaning Jaggy is just as likely to hit the opponent out of his own fatal KO as he is to land it. Oh, but it gets worse, as that match has the same properties as his normal match special. So if you were to trigger it in the wrong place, you'd get this. Jaggy can't even infinite properly, as despite his incredibly poor performance everywhere else, Jaggy's basketball combos are the hardest to pull off on the entire roster. You can't even infinite right! Your infinites are countable, you dumb piece of shit! While I do agree that Mr. Hart is the worst of the two, Mr. Hart is bad for one central reason: his massive size and lack of mobility. Jaggy, meanwhile, just falters in every regard. He can't hit hard, he can't combo, his gimmicks stink, he has more gimmicks than every other character. He's just too much for me. And to invert his brother, while Toki lists a negative for playing him as a loss of popularity, trying to win with Jaggy is listed as a positive, as it shows everybody you're chill and cool. Hey, this little dude isn't even trying to win. I like him. From one anime fighter to another, we get one that's much more balanced. If you take these 2 lead weights off the scale, I'm not done talking about Muscle Grand Prix 2. Any chance I can get to try to trick people into watching Perfect Origin by doing so, I'll take it. MGP2 is a really unique fighting game, different from so many others while still being easy to learn. As somebody still trying my best to learn and being biblically bad at fighting games, I found myself in a good groove where arcade mode runs have become a lot easier. Part of the appeal of the game is its roster, spanning both Kinnikuman and its sequel series, Kinnikuman Nisei, to include so many distinct characters that even non-fans will be able to gravitate towards thanks to their designs. When looking for the best characters in the game, you obviously have the boss-tier characters like Kinnikuman Super Phoenix and Akuma Shogun, but just below that you get a good mix of different characters. You have the simple characters who use the fundamentals of the game the best, like Kinnikuman, Robin and Kevin Mask, and Brocken Jr., as well as the more complicated ones who require higher execution, but rewarded in spades, like Terryman and Kinnikuman Zebra. Seriously, have you seen what a good zebra in this game looks like? I haven't, it's nightmare fuel. If you're an asshole, you can also just pick Mountain. Ultimately, though, the game is balanced well enough that you can pick anybody and get results, whether it be higher-rated characters like Sneagator, or lower-rated ones like Big the Budo. Nobody is incompetent. That is, except for the bottom 2. These are 2 characters so completely outclassed that any love you might have for them from the series is dwarfed by the amount of struggles you'll have just playing the game. The one I think might just be negligibly better is Scarface, or Escara as Ultimate Muscle viewers might call him. Scarface is an evil imposter Justice Chojin who eventually goes so undercover, he just becomes a good guy. As a character, Scarface is a big body, much like Big Body, so already compared to the more nimble characters, he's gonna struggle. But unlike other big characters, he doesn't have the tools to make up for it. Big the Budo has some great get-off-of-me supers, like Magnet Power Minus, which puts the opponent into heavy stun if they get too close, and also a great get-on-me super with Magnet Power Plus, which pulls opponents in from a distance. Sunshine's entire gimmick is having great wake-up options from the floor, with a sky drop great for getting away, strong throws, and the ability to simply slink away to get back into position. Unlike a lot of other fighting games, being a big character is not a detriment in Muscle Grand Prix 2, especially with how integral grabs are and how much more range these bigger characters get. Let's not get crazy though. A lot of top tiers are very, very fast, a lot of bottom tiers are very, very slow. I'm just saying that it isn't an automatic death sentence like it is in a lot of other games. Scarface, though, doesn't have any of that. In place of any strong utility supers or gimmicks like other big characters, his pool of supers is limited to only 2 that aren't flat-out command grabs. Are those grabs strong? Of course, but not as strong as being able to pull them off. Scarface's biggest weakness is the same as somebody like Ganondorf in Smash. He can deal heavy damage, but never gets the chance to control the fight. The opponent gets to dictate everything about how the match plays out, including when Scarface is allowed to play. Scarface can't get in on an opponent due to all of his attacks being slow and short-ranged, only really being able to get stuff done with his Vader Crash and basic jab. All of the rest of his tools are simply too slow to properly react to the opponent and get them where he wants them. That speed disadvantage, lack of utility supers, big body, and bad normals means that Scarface also can't get out of pressure, not just not apply it. Where other characters like Robin Mask would have a super all about getting pressure off of themselves, Scarface instead pumps more and more into powerful throws. His only decent option comes from his only good special move, Aerial Swallow's Tail. But if you like how this move looks, guess what? Terry Man and Terry the Kid both have the same move in their Texas Condor Kick. Both of these characters having infinitely more options than Scarface does, and both being better as a result. His moves have really obvious tells to them, his combos are short, and it's hard to convert into his combos due to how sluggish his moves are. His inability to choose when he wants to fight means Scarface is best played defensively, which feels antithetical to his design. Suddenly, this strong bully character is on the back foot, running away and trying to sneak in damage where he can. His damage is great, that's his main redeeming feature, but he lacks a way to properly deal that damage. His grab range is good, but in this game, you're not throwing out special grabs unless you're absolutely certain that it will land, because the punishment for not hitting one is loads of ending lag. And if the opponent sees that, they're going to rip you apart. It's not like a character like this can't exist in Muscle Grand Prix 2. Really, everything Scarface wants to be, Buffalo Man already is. Buffalo Man is a slow bruiser, but when he swings, you feel it. He is strong as hell. With slow buttons, sure, but way more utility thanks to moves like Hurricane Mixer and Poisoned Knee Lift. 2 moves Scarface would kill for. Scarface was long considered the worst character in the game, and there's certainly an argument to be made that he still is, but one thing he has going for him, prepare for the ultimate backhanded compliment, he can still play the game of Muscle Grand Prix 2. What Scarface has to himself isn't very good, but the universal systems of the game don't let him down. If you want to play him like a snapping turtle, staying back and playing defensive until the exact moment to try to steal a win, he can steal wins. Is this effective or fun? Debatably, but it still put up results. As unlike the true worst character, Scarface does have a tournament ring to his name. You're gonna struggle. A lot. But if you push Scarface, he can give you results. That's because he isn't trapped in the wrong game like the real worst character, Planet Man. Planet Man is one of the 6 Devil Knights who serves Akuma Shogun. And unlike his contemporaries in Sneagator, Sunshine, and Ashura Man, Planet Man hasn't been praying to Satan hard enough and is doomed to worst character status for a lot of reasons. First off is that Planet Man is the game's only dedicated zoner, having 3 projectile supers, where most characters have 0. While he does lack a meterless fireball that a character like Atlantis would have, Ringstone, Planet Ring, and Apollo Dynamite are meant to cover 3 different ranges and act as utility to handle an opponent from any distance. Being the game's only dedicated zoner makes it seem like he should be a great character. The game is all about grabs and getting in close to an opponent, so why shouldn't the character made to stop that be the best? Well, it's because a zoner is actually completely useless in a game like Muscle Grand Prix. See, Muscle Grand Prix doesn't just have a sidestep, which Planet Man would really rather you not know about, but a parry as well, which works on all of the very few projectiles in the game. That means that a projectile-focused character would be at a huge disadvantage, and any character on the roster has counters to them baked into the game itself. It's like how in Third Strike, a character like Remy can't afford to projectile spam since parrying shuts him down automatically. Planet Man's gameplay style isn't made for a game with parrying, but especially not a 3D game with parrying. If you can't parry, just double tap up or down and Planet Man can't hurt you. But at least the projectiles he has are good, right? All 3 of them suck for different reasons. Ringstone is the best one, but has an unbelievably high startup at 37 frames. Planet Ring is slow as hell, covers a very short distance, and comes out at a really awkward angle that makes follow-up extremely hard. Apollo Dynamite is the one you're going to be using the most, since Planet Man's one combo uses it, but I'd say it's probably the worst one. Because unlike the other 2, the only thing you need to do to counter it is walk towards Planet Man. It sets up a high launch, which is really good, but is absolutely useless at 2 out of the 3 ranges. If they're too close or too far away, it does nothing. This is a zoning tool that is countered by moving towards the zoner. As well, all of these moves eat loads of meter. So you're gonna need to find some way to try and build meter to keep up your zoning, which means you're either charging, trying to hit the opponent, or getting hit. With how bad Planet Man is, you're gonna be relying on that third option. So he's a zoner with bad projectiles. This is a great start. I can't wait to see how many more cars we can add to this pile-up. Planet Man's basic moves outside of his specials are garbage, with a 17-frame startup jab making it one of the worst jabs in the entire game. Sounds bad, right? Comparing it to a jab like Brocken Jr.'s or Warsman's, who only have 11 frames of startup, or Neptune Man, who might be 15 frames but deals 28 damage to Planet Man's 12. But hey! This is actually one of his fastest moves. So many of Planet Man's moves are abysmally slow that it leaves his combos feeling really unsatisfying and like there are holes in them. Holes that an opponent can tear into with basic mashing. Planet Man's combo potential is really bad, having a small pool of natural combos and even less that can be practically pulled off. Just like Scarface as well, his pitiful frame data leaves him totally incapable of getting away from or applying pressure, forcing you to wait until your opponent's hand cramps to get the opportunity to try to start winning the game. Except unlike Scarface, Planet Man doesn't even get to have high damage. His combos are too short and base damage too low to consider any of his combos worthwhile. As if life couldn't get any worse, sometimes the stars align into a middle finger for Planet Man, as his moves just don't work. For the perfect example, there's his standard super, a 2-hit kick that will stun the opponent when it lands. Stun states are good. They stop the opponent from hitting you, which Planet Man desperately needs help with. Except the first kick has too much knockback, meaning that unless you're nestled deep in the corner or against the ropes, the first hit actually combos out of the second hit, making it just a pathetic damage dealer with no stun. Oh, and in case you thought that was all, it doesn't even work 100% of the time in the corner, and will still whiff on occasion at complete random. That means you can't rely on it, and if you do throw it out and it fails, you put yourself in the easiest punish state for your opponent to take advantage of. Unlike other heavy stun moves as well, it can't force the opponent into a rope bounce, because the developers fucking hate Planet Man! This is all on top of the base issue that by using this move, you're spending meter that you're supposed to be accruing for your special projectiles. That's not the only one that doesn't work. Apollo Dynamite is meant to be unblockable, as it's your heavy damage AoE projectile that can punish people trying to sidestep it. Only, because the move wasn't coded properly, it is blockable, making it super easy to avoid. As if that wasn't bad enough, sometimes this happens. Planet Man's kick-based attacks have a bad habit of going off-axis for no reason, meaning that an attempt to snuff out an approaching enemy becomes a clown show of Planet Man missing kicks to an opponent who isn't even fighting back. All of this with a body as big as Scarface's, meaning you get none of the benefits of a big character and all of the downsides. Planet Man is a terribly designed character in MGP2, and it feels kinda bad pairing him with Scarface. Scarface can at least win matches. Planet Man's too ashamed to show his goddamn face after missing 7 consecutive kicks to an opponent 2 inches in front of him. The footage that I'm using of me playing through arcade mode as Planet Man is the most Planet Man footage that exists anywhere on the internet. The only other person even attempting to make Planet Man work is Maxev on Twitter, who helped me fact-check and punch up this section, and by playing as him, has become the #1 Planet Man player in the world. This game has a walking toilet, who throws poop and has a very unflattering charge animation from behind. And he's better than both of these guys! For the final game, this may come as a shock to fans of the franchise, but did you know that Guilty Gear actually had a first game? Yeah, it's not Strive! Guilty Gear was a hidden gem for a long time before Strive took it to new heights, and for years it's dazzled players with its innovative gameplay and confused newcomers with its dumb names. Listen, we've gotten used to them, but Guilty Gear XX Accent Core Plus R sounds like somebody shot a dictionary and pieced together the title from scraps that flew out of it. You want to know how bad it is? The first Guilty Gear isn't even called Guilty Gear. It's called Guilty Gear Missing Link. How are you missing a link? There's only one of you! Missing Link is such a weird game. It's kind of the Guilty Gear we all know, but everything's just wrong. The music's a little off. The sprites are weirder. The moves aren't all there. Soul doesn't have a face. It's hard to describe, but you can tell just how bad first game syndrome hit Missing Link. That said, it's still a really fun fighting game, and popularized mechanics that would define the series and fighting games as a whole, like Roman cancels and bursts. That's because those are in Guilty Gear X, and those wouldn't exist if it weren't for Missing Link. It's the least explored Guilty Gear game outside of, like, petite Guilty Gear, thanks to its age and jank, but that doesn't mean we were clueless about who the best is. Now, try and act surprised here, but the fast characters are good, and the slow characters are bad. Crazy, right? Top tiers include Chip, Milia, and the one-and-done Dr. Baldhead. All 3 share common traits, like a lack of real weaknesses, relatively easy supers, and speed that's second to none. But mirroring these 3 are 3 characters so bad, so poorly made, that in some cases the job of finishing the characters comes down to the player rather than the developers. To start with the only one of these 3 that functions properly, we have Potemkin. Yes, he is as bad as 2 characters who weren't finished. So Arc System Works has a really interesting design ethos when it comes to designing grappler characters, where they flip a coin to decide on making them either the best or worst.
My god, they finally put 2 monsters on the field.
You get Tagger, whose Dust Loop page reads like a suicide note. If it lands on Tails, you get Z Broly, who just kept adding armor to Lariat Express to see if anybody would stop him. And they didn't! However, one time the coin landed on its side, and that's how we got Potemkin. Now, I'm not a Guilty Gear fan per se, I like the games, I like the characters, I like the world, but I've never gotten into the gameplay. But I am a Potemkin fan. I enjoy the platonic ideal of a character who puts their name into their signature move. Potemkin is a grappler's grappler. Even if he isn't the strongest character, the Potemkin Buster is a move to be respected and feared. Able to turn games around in a single grab, and a 0-to-death chip in only 2. He's also got a variety of moves to help him achieve his goal of Buster or Bust, like his Flick to put a stop to any zoning, and Slide Head to make his approach safer. Potemkin can vary a lot from game to game as to where he places on the tier list. He can be low tier like an Exard, middle of the road like an Accent Core. Heck, he actually seems to be the best he's ever been right now in Strive. Potemkin can be a lot of things, but one thing is always true. He's fun to play, and even more fun to watch. That's why seeing how he started in Missing Link is so shocking. Potemkin in Missing Link is just... oh my god! So first things first, a lot of Potemkin's traits were established early, like the fact that he lacks a forward dash. This follows him throughout the series, but he does get a great tool to make up for it in Hammerfall.
Oh my god.
A charge input
Wait, King
that
High
lets him
Caesar
dash
needs...
in while having armor, to snuff out any attempts to stop him. And Missing Link Pot doesn't get that. He doesn't get the Flick, he doesn't get Hammerfall. I'd say he at least has Sliding Head, but it's debatable if that's a good thing. In later games, Sliding Head is a full-screen quick unblockable that acts as a great way to keep people from zoning Potemkin out. It forces them to jump or get hit, where Potemkin can then Hammerfall his way in for a Buster. Not only does Potemkin not have Hammerfall to capitalize on Sliding Head, but he's always going to get punished whenever he uses it, thanks to the move being techable. Tech in this game is done by pressing up and attack when getting hit to recover super fast. And Sliding Head, in this game called Graviton Stomp, can be teched immediately, negating all effectiveness it could have as a move to let Potemkin in. Not really the negative it sounds like, since in is not really a place Potemkin wants to be, as his horrible normals and combo game see him helpless at the range he should be best at. His combo game is truly depressing. It's difficult to convert into any real damage with him thanks to his slow normals. And his one bread and butter combo that can deal damage doesn't even work all the time. If the opponent is crouching, the final Mega Fist that ends out the combo just doesn't hit. And if the opponent is Cliff, Bikin, or Axel, they don't even need to crouch. Their profiles are so low, Potemkin naturally misses them. All Axel has to do to dodge is just be himself. Also, due to his lack of a dash, Potemkin is one of the only characters in the game lacking an infinite combo, which, while they're definitely overblown and Missing Link for their effectiveness, totally still exist and should be worried about. Potemkin not having one is just another way he struggles to do anything the rest of the cast gets to do with ease. Funnily enough, his best tool is still Potemkin Buster. The move is strong, though noticeably weak for a Buster, comes out frame 1, has no whiff animation, and can be guard cancelled into, making for an incredible counter tool. Stuck in the Corner is Potemkin's home stage in this game, so it's a useful tool. Overall, Potemkin is a character with nothing he's especially good at, can't show off the few good things he can do, and has to work his ass off for rewards that just aren't worth it. I'd argue Potemkin might be worse than the next two simply because those two are broken. Meanwhile, Potemkin was meant to be this way. This is all going according to plan. The second character, and first of the Broken Brothers, is Axel. He's British and wears jorts. He was destined for great things, and in later games he would get them. Accent Core especially is where he's at his best. Even if he's not as good in Exard and Strive, you can be sure that Missing Link Axel is begging to be that high up and that competent. So Axel's most defining trait in every game he's in is his range. His chained sickles allow him to control the area around him with ease, thanks to fast, far-reaching normals. He's most comparable to Dulcim in that regard, but where Dulcim supplements that moveset with a fireball and his famous dive kick, Axel in this game sucks. See, his range is incredible. Some great stuff. Jumping heavy slash is a lot of fun. But the end of the sickle is the only hitbox on a lot of these moves, meaning that unlike a Dulcim, whose long normals have appropriate hitboxes, here only the very tip of the move will damage you, meaning that you're nowhere near as safe as you feel. Despite his good movement speed, that range also comes with a huge attack speed problem, where in the time it takes for the sickle to come back, the opponent can recover and punish you pretty easily. These are all pretty standard weaknesses though, so what do I mean when I say Axel isn't finished? Well, Missing Link has a charge mechanic. Not like in Fighters, or even charges in Guile or Hydern. Each character has a chargeable move that you can perform by performing the move's input with the respect button instead of the attack button. Respect in this game is taunt, but on a different button. So for a character like Dr. Baldhead, if you do a DP motion and hold respect, you can charge your hack and slash move to increase its damage by loads. Potemkin has one, but he has the slowest charge in the game and a bad charge at that, so don't worry about it. Charge also allows you to charge cancel, canceling out of normals into a charge to negate ending lag and perform charge cancel specific combos. So
I forgot to switch back to attack position.
Is it his one good one in Dototsu? Please say
kill myself.
Dototsu. None of them! Axel can't charge! Oh, so it must be a gimmick, right? Like, he can't charge his moves, but he gets a strong tool in its place, right? Oh, we didn't even think of that. Him and the game's two boss characters are the only ones that can't charge. And while it makes sense for the boss strength characters, Axel not having one automatically makes him weaker than the rest of the cast. Even with these multiple problems, Axel being unfinished does have an advantage. See, they forgot to give him all of his hurt boxes. 2H, Jumping Punch, and all of his specials and supers have some period of invulnerability where he can't be hurt simply because his hurt boxes aren't there. Axel is still terrible, whether or not he has all of his hurt boxes all the time, but their exclusion does lead to descriptions like this, where Dototsu is invincible for the first 3 frames, then frames 6 to 15, then again from frame 24 to 28. Being the second best low-tier weapon-wielding blonde British man with a bandana in a fighting game must be a tough pill to swallow.
That was a terrible idea in hindsight.
Our final character, and worst off out of the bunch, is the game's mid-boss, Testament. Now, like Potemkin, I like Testament. I think they're cool, their design is neat, I like their scythe and how much envy it gives Axel, and they soon get a funny hat. When I found out they'd been around since the first entry in the series, I thought it'd be cool to check out and see what they were like. Now, you might think that they're really good after the last 6 examples we've gone over, but they're actually really bad. So Testament is meant to be a combination Trapmaster and Zoner. Sounds like Jaggy, which is a good place to be at. Testament's specials aren't terrible. Phantom Soul is a good projectile, Gravedigger is a super fun move to spam and close the gap, and those are actually Testament's only good special moves, I apologize. The rest are so goddamn slow, with anywhere from 30 to 90 frames of startup to execute properly. How are you going to keep people away if it takes a whole 2 seconds to launch a move? I get it, it's supposed to be a trap, but I think a trap should be usable whenever you set it, not 2 seconds after you launch it. They thankfully have close to the worst instant kill in the game, so things are only getting better. But where Axel was bugged to the point of not working, Testament passed that point about 10 minutes ago. Okay, so as a boss character like Justice, Testament can't charge. Justice doesn't care about this, because Justice is invincible while walking backwards, so what the hell could she have to worry about? Testament, meanwhile, has to play the game like a goddamn farmer, so this is a disastrous debuff. Except that's not all they're missing. Because remember how important I said teching was in this game? Especially because it's the only way to escape some infinite combos? Testament can't tech. Pressing up and attack after getting hit does nothing. Meaning other infinites that really just need to be teched out of, like Soul's 66K, can't be escaped, making them true infinites. Why is Testament missing this ability? No reason. But you want to know what's worse? They can get it back! But it requires a little development minigame to achieve. By selecting any other character in the game, getting knocked down hard by a move, and then going back to character select and picking Testament, the game stores the value of a tech being possible and will apply it to Testament. Except unlike every other character in the game, you can only tech with the respect button instead of any of the attack buttons. Pressing anything else while in the fan-dubbed Textament state could possibly ruin it and force you to go back and do it all over again. Have you ever had a fighting game without a character creator hand you a character and say, if you're so smart, you finish it? Susano in BlazBlue does it, but when he does it, it's cool. Even after you perform the minigame, there are still some major oversights. Like Dimension Scythe, their trapping special which limits the opponent's movement. Backdashing during that makes you invincible for as long as you're trapped, making it so any pressure or traps you'd hope to apply during the stopped time don't work. These three being in the state that they are is a major part as to why Missing Link has gone unexplored to any serious degree. If the game is so broken that 3 characters on a roster of 13 are unplayably bad, who knows what other jank is waiting beneath the surface? SNK, this is the first fighting game you've made since I've become a fan of your stuff, and I've been really excited for City of the Wolves, and then you pissed in my mouth, and then you shit in my mouth. Could you please f*** off? Please f*** off.
I swear, whenever I do the matchup with Drytron and Lab on testing, it's like Drytron is begging that they want me to keep playing them. So they get to go first. They draw the best fucking cards they ever can for me, and then Labyrinth fucks. You'd think the correct choice here would be to get Alpha Thuban, but actually I already have Alpha Thuban. I rolled to get Alpha Thuban anyways. You see what I mean? This is ridiculous. What do you want me to do here? that is sweet. 100% close look alike. Name is the history, but they fight over place in it. They fight over place in it. Find it. That's how you life. I know it's not too hard to say, but there ain't no other way. There are not to the pain. No pain. Looking straight on into the blind one's lair. There are not to the same. It's time to make history, yeah. Wait, am I stupid? No, I'm not. But I actually am. Because I could have virused here if I just summoned the other lovely instead. This should still be a deadly combination, though. Whoa. Didn't think that one through. Why can't I start layer? Why can't I Star Slayer? Yeah, let's try Runic Lab. It's a fairly simple deck. What if I splashed in a Fiendsmith as well? An ultimate controller strategy to end all ultimate control strategies. Is it Runic Lab or Lab Runic? Let me go look up our list real quick, I guess. It'll be really old though, since nobody bothers with this anymore. Solves, unsurprisingly, just the math versions. Oh yeah, right, the way you play this deck is with fucking 60 size. Because you're trying to mill everything. That's a hard deck to play. Lab is a really hard deck to play. Whatever, let's go. I only wanted to do my testing for 30 minutes. And yet here I am, 1 hour already. I'll try one game. See how it goes. Am I also up against stun? It could be voiceless.
Let's see. If they mill Harold, yep, it's voiceless. Goddamn tournament registration made me miss Infinite Imperm. Or actually, wait, right, Trap Trick. Alright, well, they'll still be able to summon something after I do this. Let's try to make this be worth a damn. Actually, I should have impermed. I don't know what I was thinking. And I locked myself out of Star Slayer. Misplaced Central. Although they still had enough. Are they gonna wanna negate this? They're not, right? It's too sexy. Okay. I'm still locked out of the extra deck. Actually, I'm not. An unfortunate thing is that this targets. I just need my back row to be safe. Bonfire? What the fuck? Is this just how Ryzeal is now? I can't even target Diviner. Let's just go to the next game already. That was depressing, holy shit. I actually don't really have anything.
Hello, guys. Finally, we're all here. Yeah, dude, I'm so happy to play again. I was able to find 7 babysitters for my 7 kids, and I used all my time off for this one game of D&D. And I took a 4-hour flight to be here because I moved since last game. Me too. All right, are you guys ready? Yeah.
And I can live with that.
Last we left off, all of you were deciding whether or not to take Strahd's invitation to Castle Ravenloft. Right, as one of you could potentially beat him in disguise, so you all are in the middle of town square in Valaki arguing over the fate of your fighter. Yeah, right. Ooh. What? What? Yeah, I remember being upset. About me? No. It was a part of the letter, I think. Y'all, I'm gonna be honest. I was promoted, fired, and then rehired in the span since last game.
What would...
I have no idea what's going on.
What would that accomplish?
To fight Strahd. It was? That's what the invitation was. I have written in my notes that we free up Bilgo and we were throwing bird seed on him so crows would peck out his eyes. Oh, beats me. I have no memory of this. Woo! Your flail smashes the demon into chunks on the floor. Yeah! Then you watch as the chunks begin to vibrate and slide together. Oh, great. Forming into the shape of a man. Tall, regal attire, salt and pepper hair, short beard,
I should have
sharp
expected
green
this.
eyes.
I really should have just Dharma Karma
Very
Cannon.
well done, adventurers. You've cleaned up my mess. Well, now it's time I clean up mine. You have been a pain in my ass for far too long.
I'm still gonna do it though.
Time to die. We don't have to fight. What? You could be better than this. Such forgiveness after what I've done to you. The scars on your back heal that quickly, Samuel. I just know that we could be better than this. Really? We barely spent time to know each other. Whoa. Yeah, you have a mess to clean up. Whoa, guys. He's the villain. He's evil. Whoa! Gerard, that was the reason your family was slaughtered at Shard. You didn't know me. I killed your family. I intentionally looked into the eyes of your father, mother, and sister and slaughtered them with my own hands. Carla, Willem, and Rosie. I slaughtered them, those three, specifically, to target you. I knew you were related to them. I killed them. Because of you. Specifically. Dude, that's pretty bad. He didn't kill my family. I'll handle this. Lucius? No, take my hand, and together we can... I eat babies. An acquired taste. I give tax breaks to the 1%. We can work on that. I don't recycle. I'll get a bit. I've killed thousands in the name of my grand plan. My hands are stained with blood. I feel no remorse for it. I will continue. I will summon demons to destroy the entire world. But it's because you also lost your family. Son of a... Yes, it is because I lost my family. Damn. Relatable. He's so tragic. This only makes him hotter. DM, I take out my horny hammer?
Fuck it.
Sometimes a little push is all it takes. April 11th, Friday. Everyone had time to traipse about in this make-believe fiction. Fingerprints from greasy pizza staining character sheets. Blood spilling onto the floor from the Roll20 assets pack. What could I do next? 10d6 bludgeoning damage. So simple, yet it caught me off guard. Dispel magic on the fly spell? How could I not predict this outcome? Their wit is somehow greater than mine. The dice cast into fate, the position of arbiter yanked from me like a game of tug-of-war. Who am I kidding? Reminds me of my grandfather, fishing out on the lake. A counterspell launched freely, but I was too blind to see the bait. Instead of a hasty retreat, my villain lies dead on the floor from a dispel magic. Good memories. I never would have considered how the fish felt. This doesn't add up. Why could a simple oversight sink me like this? There must be an answer in this godforsaken book. Wait. Stat block. I never would have guessed my answer would be right in front of me. He's immune to non-magical bludgeoning. Case closed.
Oh wait, I'm still locked out. Fuck. Yeah, fuck it, I'm scoop. God damn it. Why am I so bad at layup?
She sent a card from the field to the graveyard to be summoned. Now going to be
Why?
on top of that to allow.
Do you want me to play your stupid deck or not?
Largo actually being revealed in the extra deck here. Could very well see this initial piece of the puzzle start to come out for Barcode. So far, no disruption from Emre. Granted, if he is playing Tentai Dragon into this, it could very well end up that no disruption is needed, because later on, that's when things start to get scary for Barcode.
And now we activate the original symbols for Snake Eye. We search that to the hand. So there is a different route that two different routes that we can go for. You can set off the Murcielago or your original symbols first, then add the Hollow as a beta back from your graveyard to your hand. If you have something to do with it, or it's just a free resource of the card.
Yes, indeed, could very well be that is the case. Snake Eye Ash here, about as good as a summon as you can get, either normal or special, does have the additional effect to bring out Poplar. Poplar will then in turn summon itself, and that, as you said, eventually leads to more and more access to the Snake Eye components to get to the Doom Dragon, to get to really anything, the Plant Bear's Dragon, so many dragons in an otherwise fire-focused deck.
Yeah. Now we can just decide how we play this combo. I think at this point there's 100 ways to play the Snake Eye combo.
Rank 1 Xyz here coming out for the Barcode, the Kikina Nagashi Fucho going to be the play here.
We're just passing the turn here on Fucho.
That's not ideal.
I mean, it's basically a turn ender for the
Tentai Dragon. Yeah, for sure. It does mean that we have the opportunity to run interference there. 4 cards in hand, potential disruption here. We are giving 1,000 life points as you mentioned before.
But I mean, there are a few outs to the Kikinagashi Fucho. Kikinagashi Fucho. I always get this name messed up. Because there can be like another up there. And not run over it, of course, but you can also stare it away. You have. I like that it was activated immediately. No, it wasn't activated yet, right? Oh, we draw a Lockbird here. So now if we have found the Forbidden Droplet, also teased out to the Nagashi Fucho, I don't know. I would have liked to see like this huge field for Barcode. Oh, it's unaffected by other card effects. What am I saying? I misread the first part of the card. Yeah, this is basically a turn ender for the Tenpai deck, always has been.
And as we said, Tenpai really wants that turn 2 victory. If he gets to turn 3, it's basically it. Drawn Lockbird going to be pulled by the grave.
You need a kaiju for this, basically. A kaiju, Game Seal, or Kamungus, something cool, and then start Tenpaiing. At this point we're just trying to diminish the resources of Barcode on the side of Emra, because I don't think that Barcode has built up some big resources here.
Still holding the effect of the Kiki Nagashi Fucho here, and actually will use the Triple Tactics Thrust to basically choose whichever spell or trap Emra wants. Anything that can deal with the Kiki Nagashi.
Nothing can deal with it. It's unaffected by other cards' effects and it can't be run over by battle. So there is... I'm just trying to think if there's like any spell card. Oh, normal Herald of the Dawn. The Herald, or Herald of the Abyss, not Herald of the Dawn. It's a Dawn. Herald of the Abyss would basically allow Emre to call Winged Beast and Wind, and that Barcode would have to tribute a Winged Beast and Wind monster from inside of the field, which would be Nagashi Fucho. But I don't think that Emre plays that, because usually this is a card played to out X-Pearly Noir, and we are not expecting Pearly in this tournament.
I don't think we are, but what is Emre going to add off this? It will be the Skytracker Mobilize Engage.
Yep, Engage can be activated as well as we called by the grave the Droll and Lockbird earlier. Well, not even only follow up, but set up, perhaps.
Oh, of course it's 3 spells in graveyard. It's the 2 Upstart Goblins. But here is an Ash Blossom Joy Spring. to run interference on that. Perhaps Called by the Grave would have been nice for that one, but at the end of the day, you had to deal with the knockback.
Yeah, but Emra is, I think, he's just trying to build up some advantage while Barcode is sitting there laughing devilishly.
Fucking what? I did not know that was a thing.
Because he has set up in original Sinful Spoils, because this card can banish itself, shuffle back a Diablo
I don't know why you'd target the Bantams, though.
GUI into the deck, and then search another one from your deck to your hand, and there is still Snake Eyes Oak in the deck of Barcode, and also he can just now use Popular Effect to put Snake Eyes Diabolstar from the graveyard back into the Spell and Trap Zone. So plenty of follow-up there, and Emre is going to struggle with winning this game.
Yeah, Emre, I guess we'll see if he establishes some kind of disruption-heavy field off of this Tempai Dragon Tundra. Ultimately, though, I think a lot of the Tempai Dragon extra deck is to just fight to close out the game with a single turn. Yeah, this looks to be pretty tricky for the Tempai Dragon deck.
Yep, so Pydrize, I mean, I still understand this. I understand the hassle of Ember, right? You're building up resources here, you're possibly setting up a Transcendent Dragon. You want to attack as much as possible, go into Bite, and then summon out the Bite Dragon from the graveyard as well to take care of the Snake Eyes Diabellstars follow-up. You destroyed them. If that gets you to where you want to be in the end, I am not sure, because you're basically just going to end up on perhaps a Seals.
Synchro summoning here. Presumably the Biden Dragon that you mentioned.
Yeah. You can activate this one.
That is a lot of back row.
Do we even get to Seals if we want to get rid of the Biden Dragon in the battle phase here? We can now synchro summon this off. We're still going to continue attacking. We can synchro summon this. We have Groku, right? So I think we can synchro summon to Barondafleur here.
Yeah, we very well.
It's also going to get rid of the Snake Eyes Diabellstar. Could get rid of even more cards, but you don't have to summon off the Bite Dragon as well, even though maybe...
I think we're in suspicion that we were Dragon locked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
When did we Dragon lock it?
I think Biden Dragon.
I hate that I can't
Yeah.
do anything in response
So
to...
the Sengenkai Transcendent Dragon
Stuff
now
like
coming
that.
out does help again, as you mentioned, to clear out the field. Ultimately, can't really do much against the Kikinaga Show, and Barcode now hoping that one of the 3 cards that he'll have access to is enough to deal with its field.
Yeah, but I mean, we're just searching for Padre now as well. Ember just keeps on going, trying to set up something. Padre is being summoned as well. Nagashi, which is just still, look at it. Look at it. It just doesn't want to be pet, it doesn't want to be attacked over, it doesn't want to be affected by any cards. I love the flavor of this card, really. Now we're going into main phase 2. So let's see what we can put up here. Is it Seals? Is it something else than Seals? I like what Emra does here with the Seals. To take away the battle phase effects from your opponent, get a bounce, you have a set card which could be helpful, and your Fire Drakes can't be destroyed by battle with the Father on them.
So Kikinaga Show, I think, is another one of these Furry Photon-esque tech options against Tempai Dragon specifically, where these decks have changed their approach in a way that they can reliably access cards that will let them deal with what is one of the most impactful and explosive kind of meta-defining strategies in the format. Now, 3 cards in hand, as we mentioned, for Barcode. One of them needs to be a starter. That is one starter, but what does Emra have face down to deal with it?
I meant the Forbidden Droplet and the damage step.
Well, that
was my mistake, I suppose.
Looking pretty okay for Barcode.
I mean, keep in mind there's also original Sinful Spawn Snake Eyes in the graveyards that you can recycle your monsters from the graveyard and search for a Snake Eye Oak, which is a phenomenal normal summon if you have some follow-up in the graveyard, or some setup in the graveyard rather. Yet also the Black Witch is just now looking good. Deception of his Sinful Spawns. I think we've added the Hallowed Azamina to our hand earlier, so we can actually just send the Deception from the field to the graveyard without having to tribute another monster to search for quote-unquote fusion spell, the Hallowed Azamina.
Yeah, Hallowed Azamina, of course. It looks like it is going to resolve here, pending whatever Emra wants to do in response.
I mean, can activate the seals here, but that doesn't really do anything. Bounce the Diabell's for the Black Witch. That
It's
one
a simplified
was already
board
summoned
state. I
this
feel
turn.
like I can't handle it.
Murcielago is being activated
Uh,
now as well, so we want to go for the big route
The
here.
A Draconid
I think
isn't
the
doing
Barco
much.
is not going to be a huge combo. There's not too much that Ember can do unless might find
There was a
one
solemn judgment. Why didn't they use
can bounce to the hand. That could help, but then again, considering all of these options, there is still normal summon Snake IO.
It is true. Unwanted secret simple spoils now being added to the hand.
Evenly
Again,
matched, I
without
guess.
The Snake Eyes Diabell starter at the hand.
Yep, there is a very good point. However, I think you are also maybe just going to link those off and the Hallowed Azamina back to the hand because you have Murcielago in your graveyard then.
Yeah.
And then you're going to the Fiendsmith engine and activate before that after you link those off. Might go into Mood, then maybe Requiem.
Here is.
Then you can activate Hallowed Azamina from the graveyard, get it back. Yep.
Yeah, the Moon of Touch Heaven, of course, just allowing you further access to a lot of these Fiendsmith cards.
And then you get back Hallowed Azamina, you activate it, and then you chain Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils to send the Wanted to the graveyard and back the Black Witch to the hand from the graveyard or take one from the deck. I don't know if Barcode is playing that many more. Yeah, we're bouncing the Moon of the Closed Heaven, which is a very good choice by Emre, I think. I really like this because I think this is the most vulnerable that the engine is gonna get.
It also shuts down a lot of the, well, I mean, all of the internet options, to be honest. Barcode has one Azamina spell in hand, plus one unknown card, so we'll be interested to see what that exactly is. Is it another one card starter?
I think that it still activate the original Sinful Spoils in the graveyard, right?
Ah,
So
yeah,
we're-
also one of the cards in hand is the Wanted Secret. Well, sorry, not the Azamina spell, but speaking of Azamina spells in the hand, Hallowed Azamina coming back.
There you go, Hallowed
They're playing
Azamina here,
Scareclaw.
chain the Wanted, get back a Diabell Star Black Witch. We've seen him earlier not activating the Wanted, but I think that's because he only plays one Black Witch and he had that on his field already, so he can't add it. So now he chains. Now he goes for Ilya Silva.
There is one from the graveyard now being added back. Then you can, of course, get the shuffle back and the draw from the Wanted effect as well.
And we should always have access to our...
I don't know how to play against
here, as we
Scareclaw.
haven't normal summoned this turn here. Plenty of stuff happened in this duel already, but Barcode is just getting started after doing the most minimalistic thing we've ever seen in turn 1, summoning Hinagashi Fucho. And now he's shuffling back the original Sinful Spoils.
Well, this is a depressing hand.
Wait, did we already go through Oak? No, we have Oak in hand already!
Nice.
Did we search that at some point, or was that just a hard draw? Oak can, of course, now summon out the Snake Eyes Poplar from the graveyard.
Never mind,
That is
their
going
extra
to
deck
search
is
out
actually not
the
very important to
original
them.
Sinful Spoils.
Any response here from Emre? We have face down, we have the card in hand.
And Barcode has Ilya Silva, so it will better be 2 interruptions at this point. So we're seeing Emre is taking his sweet time. There is effects that he can activate, like for example the Genroku.
I don't know why, but
So,
people
summoning
really
Genroku
love
here is
Cash
very
Tier
cool on
as an
Master Duel,
engine.
because then you can start bluffing. So you will always
I was
have
under the
possible
impression
effect you can
everyone
activate.
hates the guts
So
of
you can
Cash
start
Tier,
thinking about something, though you might not have an answer.
but people were excited
Yeah,
with Unicorning
Effects
fucking
activation, this
Detonator,
one from the Oak will resolve, bring back the Poplar. Poplar's additional effect
apparently.
as adding a Snake Eye spell and trap from the deck to the hand will activate that Sinful Spoil Snake Eye we shuffled back. Will be added back to
My
the
other
hand.
hand was
It's
also
online,
pretty
It's able to be used. We could very well see it
depressing, but
right
I went
now.
first.
Yeah, but very well played by Emre playing around
Oh my god,
the
they actually are just
Ice
playing
Mystic,
Cash Tier.
basically. The name I just forgot. There is no zone for it to take a monster. No way. We have put Snake Eyes Diabell Star into the Spell and Trap zone here with Poplar, and Barcode is just celebrating his life right now. This is just a big combo. Ash Blossom and Joy Spring put into the Spell Trap zone. Will be useful later. Snake
Eyes Doom Dragon, of course, being available later on, but as you said, later, because Snake Eyes Diabell Star will summon itself, clearing up that Spell and Trap card zone.
Yeah, or the OSS or Snake Eye Oak. They can all use this card here to summon out the boss monster of the deck.
Snake
Guys.
Eye Flamberge
Flamberge
Dragon.
Yep, this card takes away resources from your opponent, gives you more to set up your field, and of course also has a floating effect where when it leaves the field or the hand to the graveyard, it summon out 2 level 1 fire monsters. And we go into Moon again, because this is not an effect that you used to go into Requiem. You can summon this multiple times per turn. Now we go Link summon into Requiem.
Oh no, that wasn't that wasn't a fucking Scareclaw card. That was a Sinful Spoils card.
Yeah, that's always the downside of sending the moon back to the hand, or effectively the
Oh
extra
my
deck
god.
in this case.
Am I playing against Dragon Rulers or what? What the fuck is going on?
Re-establish a field and they can confidently link off again. Yes, you cost them a 2 material card, but if they have 2 more materials, why not? Why don't they just go back and do it again? Lead into Requiem, lead into Fiendsmith Engraver, equip that, access the extra deck monsters from the Fiendsmith engine on top of it, and deal with some of these Tenpai Dragon cards as well.
Yeah, but
It's not a monster effect.
Getting 2 link materials of your opponent's fields against Snake Eye. If you're doing this before they normally summon their first Snake Eyes monster, there's not a lot you're doing with it. Not a lot that you're preventing with it. And now you need for full Speedsmith combo, if you're not starting with a graveyard, that you need a mother monster. If you have your Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon as that monster, even better. Sequence is being summoned, we get the Oak back, we can summon Snake Eye Ash or Poplar or whatever we want. Poplar has an effect on the field, so this might be the preferred one. You can fusion summon a Fiendsmith Lacrina now, and you're seeing the field of Emre already being diminished. Ilya Silva constantly threatening a negate for Barcode. And this is just, we're going to Desiree, using 3 materials.
Yep, 3 materials to access that larger Fiendsmith fusion monster. It has the 2 face-up negations available to it if needed. And actually now, Fiendsmith Sequence living up to the name as it starts a sequence with the Snake Eyes and is able to capitalize on it. Here comes Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames, to bring back a fire type, to bring something back onto the field for Barcode, and that something should very well be enough to close this one out and secure Barcode's escape from this group. Snake Eyes, they have a spell card with escape in its name. Its name escapes me right now, but Barcode will escape this group with the first seed if this continues.
To the battle phase, does Emre want to fight back in this one? Desiree is being activated immediately to negate cards on the field. Genroku will be activated in response to that. Let's see.
Could be, but won't be, as it appears that the effect does resolve successfully.
Yeah, and also it doesn't target, so if you're negated, if you're chaining Genroku to the next card, it's just going to be negated. True. So Barcode is now going to attack, probably with the Snake Eye onto the Genroku.
Battle phase has ended, actually. We're now in the end phase. We've seen Tenpai Dragon turn it around before. We've seen the comeback from Emre in disadvantageous situations before. It's the dream combo here, but is it enough right now? There's the Ultimate Slayer that would have been nice to deal with the Kiki Nagashi Fucho. And just Elder Ancientis will be an additional destroy on top of this Ultimate Slayer as well. There's the animation, there's the resolution, and there is the removal of one of the type monsters on the side of the field of Barcode. Elder Ancientis, as we said, will send something else from the field to the graveyard. And the plays continue.
Can get rid of the sequence so that Desiree doesn't really have any more negates. Can of course be chained. Okay, we can just send away the Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon. We still have Snake Eye Ash in the graveyard and Poplar as well, so those would be retrieved by the Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon. And this one, of course, summons out Sangenpai Transcendent Dragon. That is really, really cool.
So that is really interesting because it means that the opponent, so the Tenpai Dragon player in this case, can't use the Battle Phase effect, which is what the Tenpai Dragon deck is all about. But here's Spin Droplet. It can potentially run interference, but it does get the Sangenpai Transcendent Dragon off the field, so Emre does have access to the effects in the battlefield. But how many effects does he have access to? Because right now, the field not looking too established, not looking too good. This tool not looking too good for Emre here, as Barcode seems to have weathered the storm, but it's not over yet. Here comes Snake Eyes Land-Based Dragon. Here comes Genroku, still on the field.
Serious, I'm gonna be honest, I think this looks kind of good for Ember right now, because there is nothing stopping this Genroku from just summoning out a Chandra. Wait, no, you don't have Chandra in the deck anymore, you don't have Fadra in the deck anymore. There are very few targets. Do you play, perhaps, to Fadra for taking control of Roma's Prometheus? Of course!
Bring back the Sunken Pie Transcendent Dragon from the graveyard!
You can also take back the Fadra and summon back the Chandra with that effect as well. Go into the battle phase here. Emmer is just clawing his way back into this. Fadra is being summoned here, getting back the tuner.
So you get back the tuner and then you climb eventually into the Trident Dragon, you have to imagine as well.
Yeah, because you should still have Hydra in your deck. Chandra can of course summon this out, then you set Sangan summoning from your deck to your side of the field. We're attacking with Fadra, and now we're starting to slowly but surely chip away the field from Barcode. Barcode is going to activate Linkuriboh in response to that. First, Linkuriboh will be able to put the attack
is
of
depressing.
Fadra to 0, but does that really help you at this point?
It looked so good for Barcode, but we saw the power of the Tenpai Dragon. We mentioned this deck can turn it around in one single card. It took more than one. It took quite a few, but quite a few was exactly what Emre had available. No more cards in hand, but so many on the field right now as he loads Barcode's graveyard with what was previously a very nice Fiendsmith Snake Eyes field.
Yep, but there's the Promethean Princess attack as well. Now the world is just Emre is the sacrifice and Dragon. It's going to summon itself back out, preventing Barcode from using any effects for the rest of this battle phase. Therefore, you can really run over the Fiendsmith. Desiree can't trigger in the graveyard anymore. You can use the Chandra. Do we even play 2 Bite Dragons? Does that even really matter? We're going to go into a level 10 Synchro, and that is going to be the Trident Dragon that can just destroy Promethean Princess. Attack twice. We haven't attacked with the Sanctified time. Did we just lose to the timer? Did Barcode win because Ember?
Barcode wanted a time limit there.
What is happening? This is absolutely insane. I was already questioning why Ember just went for the Trident Dragon. That's because that didn't seem like the optimal line, even though it would have gotten him there. But losing to the timer on Tenpai Dragons, that is something that I think only Basti could do.
The attack would have sealed the game for Emre. The attack would have secured him first seed out of this group, but because of that victory for Barcode, yes, it's a victory by time, but it is a victory nonetheless, and it secures Barcode's escape from this group in first position. Emre will take on Josh in the semi-finals. The Snipe Hunters matchup does not happen at the final stage. Instead, it happens in the next stage of this tournament.
That is absolutely insane. I really liked how this game, and it was back and forth. I personally still don't know why we had to skip our battle phase there. I don't think there was any runic cards involved in that turn, but there's always, that's the fun thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! As well. There are so many restrictions in some of the cards that if you forget one of those, your turn might be over. This is why Yu-Gi-Oh! Is such a complex game.
As an Infinite Noble Knight player, I block myself to Warriors, I block myself to Fire, oftentimes at the opposite time of when I want to do that, but hey, it happens. Something else that happens is, of course, Barcode's upset victory there, being able to turn it around. But I say upset, he looked to be in a pretty commanding position from pretty much turn 1, thanks to that very, very well thought out Kiki Nagashi Ucho tech.
I fucking forgot to go into Relinquished Anima again. God damn it, I'm dead.
Very good strategy. Not only that, Tenpai is always a very good strategy. If you're playing a DC Cup or a Challenger Cup, you're aware of Tenpai. However, this tournament...
I am very dead.
Tenpai most of the time. So it makes sense to have this option.
You also know for sure in the best of 3 stage when your opponent is picking Tenpai. So this was a very good read from Barcode, and does actually bode very well for his chances later on, provided he can deal with Colossa, who will be his opponent. We said there's the Snipe Hunter versus Snipe Hunter match, but there's also Barcode versus Colossa in the other semi-final. Both of our remaining pairs of duelists will play it out to guarantee that they get at least one of these trophies.
Yep. Speaking of trophies, Barcode hasn't gotten one yet. He is in the top 4. Let's hear it from him. Does he still think that he can take it all the way?
He might well do, Leo, but he has just told me that he was shaking like a leaf in those final moments. But what a match that was. You guys had a real duel there that just kept going. So talk to us about how you're feeling at this moment.
It was absolutely amazing. Like, the duel was intense, very intense, and when you're paired against Tenpai, it's really hard. I had a plan, I told you that earlier today. The plan was basically to go full show if the guy lets me go first,
Nice.
which happened, but the problem was that after that it was very complicated game state, and it was really interesting. But, the time limit is just going down and down again and again. And then I saw the time limit and I started shaking. I'm not gonna lie, I started shaking. It was really hard. Because then I saw, before entering battle phase, that there was maybe 20 seconds left or 15 seconds left. So it was really hard.
Why?
All of a sudden, I misclicked. I have to say that. I misclicked and it literally saved me, because if I entered battle
I mean,
phase, then
it's good enough.
I would have lost. I would have lost the game. We just discussed that right after with Emery, and he told me that with the droplet which was set, it would just have been over for me. So it actually saved me, which is absolutely amazing.
That is amazing. Wow, what a fortuitous serendipity that's led you to getting into this final. I mean, that is a heck of a bunch of different circumstances to line up, but it worked. You are going through. That must feel pretty good.
I mean, that's the most important, right? I'm in the last 4 people over there, and I'm gonna do my best to defend the friends during these matches.
You're going to be up against Italy. You're going to be against Colossa in the second of our semi-final round. So best of luck with that. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to let you go and decompress a bit before that match. So while Marco goes off and does that and gets ready,
There she is. I mean, what the fuck can I do? Yeah, that's Jover. Makes no sense that it returns to neutral when both players are so low on life points like this. The way Master Duel handles music is kind of the only way you can really do music in Yu-Gi-Oh! Nowadays. It is kind of ridiculous how you can go through all the phases so quickly in just the first turn. Anyway, I'm dead. But let's see how far we can go. Well, That's not gonna do it. Does this deck want to work with me or not? I swear to God.
Ladies and gentlemen!
Welcome
That
to the
is-
podcast. Oh, and by bringing life points to 0, or by giving little giggling set up. Got 5 bangers. See what they thought.
That was terrible. That fucking sucked. In celebration of the end of Saga, we're playing our OT deck, and unfortunately we have to take out all of those powerful hand traps that we found, called Charmies, but it's not like we ever got to activate the series proper anyway. Camus! You're up first. Suck and Camus seem to understand something similar back when they were in France. No man go, they would go. Anyone? Alright, so there is a little stipulation for today's episode in particular. You're only doing cards that are legal in Master Duel. I feel like this is a nice halfway point
Yikes.
between the nonsense that you usually bring and the nothing that you brought last week.
This is a hot take, but I don't like the alt
Lone
arts
Fire.
of Blue
Come up
Eyes.
with a Lone Fire.
I only
Lone
really
Fire's
like
path
the original.
many cool things.
The other ones, I mean, the original Blue Eyes is still very ugly AF.
What the hell is Allure Palace? Oh my god, these cards are actually in the game? Okay, I'm interested in seeing how this works. So if you all aren't familiar, this is like the card that does the entire Allure Queen line. The only downside is that to do so, you have to dump your entire hand on the Chaos Allure Queen. Fun fact. You could get it. Allure Queen equipping Allure Queen. And Allure Queen equipping Allure Queen. This is self-cessed. Alright, we're going to go ahead and summon a spellcaster with attack. And there is Sylvie of the White Forest! Oh, shit! I didn't know this card could be used for good things. I thought it was for bad. Speaking of cards that are only used for bad things. Yep, there's Ferret. There's Summoner Monk. Zarugya Skulldread. Oh, you bastard. Junk Collector, not usually the summon here. Junk Collector plus Sex? Huh. Lantis. See, Lantis is maybe the most definite of all time. Only exists to totally fuck up any conception of a negation. Okay, sex time. Or Flift to send a Trap Tracks to the graveyard. Oh, it's Trap Tracks here. Oh no. Familiar with this card, chat? Allows you to perform a fusion summon by using material from the deck.
They definitely have a drill beam. That's a. I mean, of course they have a drill beam. I fucking saw it.
Burials. Is that Calioptera and Giant Rex? So we can do anything here. And we've decided to, with the power to do anything, just keep fucking making AFD. Are you kidding me? It is easier for a dual-tainer to imagine a new AFD than ending capitalism. Hornosaurus and Giant Rex. Okay, down goes Alert. Oh, God. Oh, it's over. So from here we can do anything. Here we can literally do anything. Fusion Gate, my entire fucking deck. This is, I will say, this is really sexy. This is a setup I have not yet seen. Like, I don't think we've seen on dual painting, despite the fact that we've seen 1 trillion different ways to draw your entire deck what appears to be a 1 card off a Lone Fire Blossom, taking advantage of a Lure Palace that just gets you, I will fuse my entire deck away. Pretty sexy, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, Braver Dragon, we're familiar with this guy. Oh, the Bamboo Swords, we're not going for the, Tonkos here. Randall, and what's our third one? Broken? Oh, original Bamboo Sword, not the new one. This is a Legacy Pack card, right? You didn't spend real money on this? Please.
Right. Effect negation.
I will not forgive myself.
Should have figured.
2 Cursed Bamboo Swords. We'll bounce the other Bamboo Sword so we can
But at least that's everything out of the way.
do that without a battle phase. Alright, what Fire Warrior are we getting? For Noble Knight Renau. Fusion gating again. I just love that this is not once per turn.
Wait, I meant to get...
Right, Knight? Fuck. That 10 the Conqueror star? What the fuck?
This wasn't who I wanted to go for. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. Nah.
Proxy F. It's too special out of guy. Okay, we're doing it in secret.
Well, it's game over.
So cute.
I meant to go for fucking Eltanin. God.
I needed the tea break of last week to kind of.
I hate myself sometimes.
My love for gaming, but I'm totally in on this one. I'm like paying super close attention to this dumb setup that just draws the entire deck. Okay, Cross Sheep. I mean, that's gonna. We don't have enough zones. Our zones are fucked. Pyrite Knight. Turn a warrior monster and special summon Pyrite token on the side of it. Okay, sure. That'll trigger Cross Sheep, which is pointing to a fusion. And now we bring back Cattycorn and trigger it again. I mean, your hard ones. Oh Jesus, that card is still around. You down. I was expecting transgender. Oh my god! Yeah, I guess those are. It's Dinosaur Warrior.
Let's go.
Sure. What are we sending? Terminal World. Uh-oh. Are we turn skipping? I can't imagine we're turn skipping. I feel like turn skipping. Sword would have been red sword. I now believe that we are turn skipping. Hey, it's MBT! Gallant Phoenix. There it is. Okay, I was expecting we would see her eventually. Alright, I'll take MBT. Reynard! I guess we didn't summon him that way? To grab back the sword. The Proxy F, you're right. There's AFP! There's that fucking asshole. Stop making AFP. Stop making AFP. Stop making AFD. We're gonna grab a rock. Not a boulder. It's an Manchuria rock. We are just totally fucking up. Oh. Oh god.
Becca.
Porticus. Porteus, the tri-phasic Pokemon. Coming back to terminal. Okay, we have summoned out Manchuria Rock. That is Coliseum. Fucking Morload Dragon, I guess. Morload Dragon. Yeah, it goes down to 100. Terminal World. Burning Bamboos. So it's gonna skip my main phase 1 and my main phase 2. I think we go straight to battle. Soul Devouring as I'm skipping my draw phase as well. I'm gonna make me attack the rock. Okay, so I have to attack the rock every turn and it Yada locks me. And we're destroying the Morlock. I have learned why their name is Kamu. They fucking built the myth of Sisyphus? Are you kidding me? Alright. Push that rock up. I can't ever die. It doesn't even kill me! I never deck out! Oh my god. This is unbelievable! Snopius, but that doesn't do it because it's main phase only. I'll always be able to use the curse to reset the Soul Devouring Pit. Triggers the Burning Bamboo Sword. I always lose my main 1 and 2. My draw is it dealt damage. I have to attack every turn. Fuck.
They definitely have
This is
triple tactics.
unthinkable. Wait, Wait, why did I get my draw there? Oh! That's interesting. That a literal bug in Master Duel? What? I legitimately have no idea why that's happening. You got it. Man, that was crazy. Alright, Addict. Here we go. Time Thief Regulator, another classic.
Or that works too.
It's so strange that, like, we just have a better Rescue Rabbit. And we're gonna go for Winder here. Winder for Adjuster. King of the Barrel Imps for Octo Attic. Another classic end. Alright, sending up. Curse Effect. Time Thief Regulator also. Adjuster Summon. Oh, off the battleship, that's cute. It's due for a second king. No, Strenna, rather. Okay, well, we contribute the Strenna for the curse. We'll be summoning off the Strenna. High Parade. Oh, Kanzashi. Here she is. The monster is tribute. Summon a monster. Got it. I'm gonna be real with you right now. I forgot to put Daybreak in my deck. Skip me and come back.
Kinda sucks.
Alright, okay. Cinnamon, you're up. Got it? What is with everybody tonight? Holy moly! I think I really put the fear of God in them with that 3 tries you're out type thing. Here come the balls. Bring them all on. I can take as many balls as I need. Spider? Yep, I'm in. Down to 2 balls. Depressingly low amount. Hope no one here has 2 balls. Down to 1 ball. Exceptionally high amount. We're down to no balls. Garuja. Ah, okay, well, yeah. Yeah, okay, alright, yep, yep, yeah. Okay, alright. Yep, okay, that's pretty much exactly who I expected. The last one was a little shocking, Garbage Lord and Sext. This one is a little more, frequent. World Sea Dragon Atlantis. Remove the concept of restriction. Guesses for Doriato. I always do the same type of guesses. They wash fire, like volcanic. God, was that volcanic? Okay, well it's not going to be volcanic shell now. I'm going to say blown fire. Water is going to be. I have no idea. Earth is usually rescue Barret. Monkey, silent Wabi. Blown fire.
I'm
I got
hungry.
one of them. It's Terror Top. I'm interested in seeing how this goes. Dot Eyes? What? Oh god, Sophia's not a one. What did they add off of that? Wait. Huh? Oh, Rotar added Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Oh. Brick Monkey Board. We're all familiar with Monkey. We have searched the Dual Tainer. The Dual Tainer has made his appearance. Fuck, I messed it up. We can run it back. And here, we're now back. The Tainer has made it up. Where are we going? Oh, Odd Eyes. Okay, I'm still with you. What I learned when sitting in that pendulum summon last time, though, that it makes Monkey like while siding on the pendulum. It goes, got an animation, right? Dude, look at that resolution. Yeah, that's crisp. It's pretty there. Not the stream, but the master I have a 1600 by 9. I think it comes out in the videos. You know what, after this one, I'm gonna switch the resolution, see if it makes a difference. What is Darling? My Predaplants, I summon Starving them. Are we making Ethical Sark? The fabled Ethical Sark? Okay, Starving Dragon. Okay, this is a tuner. Hey, Crystal Wing. Plum, Pin, Big Pro. How the fuck do we Easter egg? The Phantom Knight crap? It scales. Does it? Alright, I'm interested. That happens. Start the shell, grab a coin. Or a Phantom Knight. By the way, Yeah, I think they did it the way you're supposed to do it, right? Retiplants for Starving Venom, the Speedroids for Gearwing, the Performapals for Odd Eyes Pendulum, and the Phantom Knights for Dark Rebel. Wait, this is fucking... Wait, is that...
That makes enough
Oh,
sense.
you can do it by overlaying for Greatsword and Greatsword from the card. Thanks for the Wabi. I'll take the Wabi. Oh, opponent controls. It has to be a Wabi on my side of the field. That's why we added it. Don't require a fusion spell. I don't remember. My Phantom Knight's IDC summoned Dark Rebellion. Okay, there it is. 1, 2, 4. That is our. Did I watch it? You're watching it right now. You have to use it. You're kidding. I don't want ethic summoning. Bada bing. Oh my god, and there. Because he's been ethically summoned, destroys all cards I control. That was
No Nibiru, please.
destroyed or targeted.
I can't handle a Nibiru. God
All right,
damn
well,
it.
That was an impressive start. Fish can be destroyed. Actually, kind of.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
Dark Legato. What if I... You know what? It's funny. Why not? I'm mad at you for the end of the main phase. Yeah, not like...
I gotta
How do you
go
want-
eat.